All right, so let's dive into something pretty fascinating. Imagine a future where osteoarthritis, especially for those carrying extra weight, it might become a manageable condition instead of a constant struggle. And today, we're exploring this possibility based on a recent editorial. It's in the prestigious New England Journal of Medicine by Dr. David Felsen.
It's certainly a hot topic right now, and for good reason.
Yeah, we're talking about GLP-1 receptor agonists, medications like semaglutide, and their potential to really shake up how we approach osteoarthritis treatment. So this is something you're dealing with. You'll definitely want to hear this. Let's start with the problem itself. Osteoarthritis is a huge cause of disability worldwide. And if you've ever experienced the pain of knee osteoarthritis, you know it's no joke.
You're absolutely right. It affects millions of people. In fact, about 4.3% of adults experience painful knee osteoarthritis almost every day. That's a significant portion of the population, dealing with chronic pain and limited mobility.
And the current treatments, well, they're not exactly miracle cures, are they?
Unfortunately, no. We have NSAIDs, which can be risky for older individuals. There are potential side effects. And exercise, which we know is beneficial. But let's be honest. Maintaining a consistent exercise routine can be a real challenge for many people, especially those already experiencing pain and stiffness.
And even acetaminophen, a common pain reliever, isn't as effective as we once thought. It's actually been removed from some treatment guidelines
Yeah.
because it just doesn't provide enough relief for many people.
Exactly. So there's a real need for new and more effective treatment options, especially for those who aren't finding relief from current therapies.
And this is where the link between obesity and osteoarthritis becomes really important. It's not just about the extra weight putting more stress on your joints, is it?
Right. While mechanical stress is certainly a factor, there's also an inflammatory component at play. Fat tissue actually releases inflammatory substances. These contribute to the pain and damage within the joints.
So it's almost like a double whammy. The extra weight stresses the joints, and the inflammation from the fat tissue further exacerbates the problem.
Precisely. And this is why weight loss is so crucial for managing osteoarthritis. It can significantly reduce both the mechanical and inflammatory burden on the joints.
Which brings us to this exciting new research. A study in the NEJM by Blittle and colleagues found that semaglutide, a GLP-1 receptor agonist, not only led to substantial weight loss, but also dramatically reduced pain in people with both obesity and knee osteoarthritis.
And the pain reduction was remarkable. We're talking about a much larger effect than what we usually see with other osteoarthritis treatments. It really suggests that something unique is happening here.
And on top of that, participants lost an average of 13.7% of their body weight, which is pretty impressive. But there is a caveat here, right? This study focused specifically on people with high BMIs and severe pain.
That's an important point. We need more research to understand if semaglutide is as effective. For individuals with less severe osteoarthritis or those who aren't obese,
So while these initial results are certainly promising, we need to be cautious about overgeneralizing the findings to the broader population. But it does raise a fascinating question. How are these GLP-1 agonists actually working? Is it simply the weight loss, or is there more to the story?
that's the million-dollar question. And it seems there's more at play than just shedding pounds. Research suggests that GLP-1 agonists have anti-inflammatory properties as well. They might be directly targeting the inflammation. That's driving the pain and damage in osteoarthritis.
So it's like attacking the problem from two angles, reducing the stress on the joints through weight loss and tackling the inflammation head on.
Exactly. And there's evidence to support this beyond just the osteoarthritis research. For example, in studies on cardiovascular disease, another area where GLP-1 agonists have shown promise, we've seen benefits even in cases where significant weight loss wasn't achieved.
That's really interesting. It definitely suggests that there's something more going on beyond just the weight loss.
Absolutely. And this is where it gets really exciting. GLP-1 receptors are found in various parts of the body, including the brain, synovium, which is the lining of the joint, bone, and cartilage. This widespread distribution suggests that GLP-1 agonists could be working through multiple pathways to reduce pain and inflammation.
So it's not just about taking pressure off the joints, it's about modulating the body's inflammatory response and potentially protecting the joint tissues themselves.
That's the current thinking, and that's why this research is generating so much buzz in the medical community. It's opening up new avenues for understanding and treating osteoarthritis. It's like we're peering into a whole new frontier of possibilities.
It certainly feels that way. This could be a real game changer for how we approach this condition. But as with any new area of research, there are still many questions to answer. For example, do GLP-1 agonists actually slow down the progression of cartilage loss? That's a huge question that needs further investigation.
Absolutely. If we can find treatments that not only manage symptoms, but also protect the joints from further damage, that would be a monumental shift in how we approach osteoarthritis. Instead of just trying to slow down the inevitable, we might actually be able to preserve joint health over the long term.
That would be incredible. It's like moving from a defensive strategy to a proactive approach to joint health.
Uh,
So what are some of the other promising avenues of research in this area?
well, one area that's particularly intriguing is the role of inflammation within the joint itself. We know that inflammation in the synovium, the lining of the joint, is a key driver of pain and cartilage breakdown in osteoarthritis.
Right, and we've seen some success with anti-cytokine therapies in rheumatoid arthritis, which also involves joint inflammation. But unfortunately, those therapies haven't really panned out for osteoarthritis. So where does that leave us?
Well, the exciting thing about GLP-1 agonists is that they might be able to target this inflammation directly. Remember how we talked about those GLP-1 receptors being present in the synovium?
Yes. So perhaps these medications can act locally within the joint to reduce inflammation, rather than just having a systemic effect.
Exactly. And there's already some evidence to support this. One study found that liraglutide, another GLP-1 agonist, demonstrated both anti-inflammatory and anti-degradative effects in osteoarthritis. It actually helped protect the cartilage from breaking down.
That's incredibly promising. It seems like GLP-1 agonists could be a multifaceted weapon against osteoarthritis, tackling weight loss, inflammation throughout the body, and potentially even protecting the joints themselves.
That's the hope. And this is precisely why this research is creating such a stir in the field. It's not just about treating the symptoms, it's about potentially altering the course of the disease.
It's like we're starting to unravel the complexities of osteoarthritis in a way we haven't before. So for someone listening who's dealing with this condition right now, what does all of this mean? What should they take away from this discussion?
Well, I think the main takeaway is that there's a real reason for optimism. We have a potential new class of treatments that shows immense promise, especially for those who are struggling with both obesity and osteoarthritis. It's like a glimmer of light at the end of what can feel like a very dark tunnel.
But it's still early days, right? We need more research before we can definitively say how effective these treatments will be for everyone.
Of course, more research is essential before we can make broad recommendations. However, if you're currently struggling with osteoarthritis, it's certainly worth having a conversation with your doctor about these findings.
They can help you weigh the potential benefits and risks of GLP-1 agonists, taking into account your individual health history and circumstances.
Precisely. And it's also crucial to remember that maintaining a healthy weight and engaging in regular, appropriate exercise remain fundamental pillars of osteoarthritis management.
Absolutely. These lifestyle modifications can make a real difference in reducing stress on your joints and improving your overall well-being. Regardless of whether you're considering GLP-1 agonists or not, they're essential for long-term joint health.
Now let's circle back to the Blittle study for a moment. Remember, the participants in that study had high BMIs and were experiencing severe pain. It's important to remember that we need more research to see how effective semaglutide is for people with lower BMIs and milder osteoarthritis.
Right, and this is where the interpretation of the results becomes a bit more nuanced. The researchers estimated a very large effect size for semaglutide in this specific population. But it's crucial to remember that effect sizes can vary depending on the characteristics of the study participants.
Exactly. It's entirely possible that the effects of semaglutide might be less dramatic. In people with less severe osteoarthritis or those who aren't obese, we need more data, more research with diverse populations to get the full picture.
So while we're excited about the potential of this treatment, we need to be cautious about assuming that these initial results will apply to everyone. More research is needed to understand the nuances of how GLP-1 agonists work in different individuals.
Absolutely. But even with these caveats, the results are undeniably promising. They offer a glimpse into what could be a transformative new approach to osteoarthritis treatment.
They really do. It's a beacon of hope for those who have been grappling with this debilitating condition for years, often feeling like there were limited options available. So let's look ahead for a moment. If this research continues to pan out, how might GLP-1 agonists reshape the landscape of osteoarthritis treatment?
Well, I think we could potentially see a paradigm shift. Instead of simply managing pain and trying to slow down the inevitable progression of the disease, we might be able to actually modify the course of osteoarthritis.
Imagine if this research keeps showing positive results. How will GLP-1 agonists change the way we think about and treat osteoarthritis in the future?
Oh, it really opens up a world of possibilities. Will we see doctors prescribing them earlier in the disease process, maybe even as a first-line treatment option?
Yeah, could we even see a day where they're used to prevent osteoarthritis altogether in people who are at high risk?
Hmm. These are all questions that researchers are actively exploring. It's a truly exciting time to be involved in osteoarthritis research.
It feels like we're witnessing a pivotal moment, a shift in how we understand and approach this condition.
And it's all thanks to the dedication and innovative thinking of researchers like Dr. Felsen and his colleagues. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible and giving hope to millions who have been struggling with osteoarthritis.
So to anyone listening who's dealing with the pain and limitations of osteoarthritis, don't lose hope. This research is a powerful reminder that breakthroughs can happen, and the future might hold even more effective treatments.
Absolutely. We're on the cusp of a new era in osteoarthritis management, and the possibilities are truly inspiring.
This deep dive into GLP-1 agonists and osteoarthritis has been incredibly enlightening. We've learned about a potential new avenue for treatment that could significantly improve the lives of those affected by this widespread condition.
Remember, knowledge is power. By staying informed about the latest research and advancements, you can empower yourself to make the best decisions for your health.
So keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep learning. And until next time, stay curious.